I think it's pronounced crew 90.
What's up, boys and girls? It's your boy Johnny, aka Crew 90, and we're gonna be doing another vlog chronicle. So, I'm telling you right now, this one's gonna be a little bit of a long one. So, if you're not interested, go ahead and just let it play in the background so I can still get the view count. But, anyways, hopefully you stick around. So, I'm gonna take you back to when I was in high school, and I would have been in the 11th. No, I was at the end of the 10th grade. So, how many of y'all have ever taken a shortcut? And I don't mean like when you're driving in your car and you know a faster route. I mean when you got a job to do, but you think that there's a better way to do it because it'll either be quicker or easier. Now, I've done that a lot. How many of you guys have ever taken a shortcut and had it blow up in your face and end up causing you more work than if you just did the damn thing properly? I've had that happen a lot. So, this was one of the first times I can truly remember taking a shortcut and having it blow up in my face. You would hope that it would have been the last and I would have learned my lesson, but I didn't. But here is the story. So, 8th grade, I get put into a brand new school. I had been in a private school from 7th grade all the way down to 3rd grade. And it was a very small private school. We're talking a one-room schoolhouse. Elementary was on this wall and then like this wall. Then middle school was on this wall, and then high school was in an upstairs loft. Small school. The whole school was like 30-something students. 8th grade, I get put into a brand new school, still a private school, but much bigger. There's around 500 students in total. Still very small, obviously, but compared to what I was used to, huge. And my class alone, my 8th grade class alone, had around like 35 students in it. So not really too much of like a shock because I mean, I was very personable and I got along with people quickly, but still a little bit of a shock. Like I wasn't used to so many people. So I got adjusted to the school very quickly. One of the things that I learned about though was the after school trash program. And the way that it worked was 2 students would show up at the cafeteria every day after school was out. They would take the trash from like lunch that day, they would take it up to the dumpster, throw it out, come back, and in exchange for this work, they would get a free snack and a free soda. Now, the sodas were those little like cans of soda that I think they cost us like 50 cents. Maybe they were $1. The snack was like, a little bag of chips or, like a little candy bar or something. Again, cost us like anywhere from 50 cents to $1. So we're talking like at most $2 worth of pay. But this wasn't that hard of a job. So like, whatever. It was a time-consuming job though, because here's the thing. While the school itself was kind of small, I mean, 500 students is ultimately still a small school, even if it didn't feel like it at the time to me. The campus was huge. And the walk from the cafeteria all the way up to the dumpsters at the front of the campus, it was like easily a 5-minute walk. Then you had to walk 5 minutes back. So we're talking this whole process was maybe like 11 minutes of your time. Again though, $2 for 11 minutes of your time, especially when you're already going to be waiting for your parents to pick you up anyways, you might as well do this and get something out of it. I was very intrigued and interested, so I inquired with the lunch lady how you did this. Did you just show up and whoever was there first or what? And she pointed out that no, if I paid attention, I would have noticed it was probably the same kids every day. It's because there's an actual official list. You put your name on the list, and it's order of first come, first serve, and whoever gets on the list are the official after-school lunch people. Of course, if one of those kids is sick for the day or something, and only one kid shows up, then another kid can fill in for that day. But you'd basically have to know that that kid was out, or just kind of be watching every day, like after school was over, to see if both kids showed up. But yeah, basically though, there was a list. And I was like, all right, well, I'll put my name on the list. Well, there was like 20, 30 other kids on the list ahead of me, because this was like one of the only things really interesting in the entire school. So like every kid was trying to be a part of it. Well, I guess 30 kids isn't every kid, but still, there was a lot of kids that tried to be on this list. Now, I was like, all right, well, I'll put my name on the list and whatever, and if 30 people decide they don't want to do it anymore, I'll be the cool guy that gets to take out the trash. Didn't happen. 9th grade comes. I think, all right, I got it. Got it. This time, I'm going to go to the lunch lady on the first day of school and sign up like right away. So I did. Lunch, we had like lunch at like maybe 11:40ish or something. I know that 9th grade, because we went in blocks, and I know 9th grade had one of the earlier lunches. I went and I asked. Turns out that there was already like 15 people on this list. They'd signed up in the morning. I didn't even know there was a possibility. Put my name on the list. 9th grade goes pretty good. Get to the end of the year though, never actually got to take out the trash. So I was like, dang man, this really sucks. I wanted to take out the trash. I wanted to get free goodies for just waiting for my mom to pick me up. End of 9th grade comes. I was struggling with algebra. Math never worked well for me. I couldn't understand, especially when you added letters. Like, math is already hard enough with numbers. Don't add letters in there. Like, okay, like why? Like literally solve for why. Like, okay, why? You're not gonna always have a calculator in your pocket. I'm literally recording this on an iPhone that has like the most powerful calculator that you could imagine. So like, joke's on you, Mrs. Sahara. But anyways, I am given the option of either repeating 9th grade math in the 10th grade or taking 9th grade math over the course of summer school. I'm not interested in losing my summer to math, but I also don't want to be an entire year behind. They said I'll catch up on my senior year because your senior year you don't have math, so I'll just take a math in my senior year and I'll be fine. But like, I don't want to be behind. I don't want to lose my summer. I don't know what to do. Then I find out summer math program isn't the entire summer, and it's not 5 days a week. You go 3 days a week for 6 weeks, from like sometime in late May until like early July. I could do my entire 9th grade math that took me an entire school year, 5 days a week. I could do that all in a 6-week period with only 3 days. Now the days were like long 6-hour days, but I could do this that fast. I was like, sign me up. Shoot, next year I might voluntarily take summer math for the next year's math class. Get it out of the way. Like, I'm ready, let's do this. So I show up on my first day of summer school, and I was shocked at how many people were there. I don't know why, I just assumed it would only be people that were also failing math, but like every like subject had their like summer school for that particular subject. So like all the people failing English, all the people failing science, all the people failing history, those teachers were there offering summer programs. And I didn't really think that would happen. And I didn't even think about the fact that like all the people in this school, because it was still a K through 12 school, just a lot bigger, but like everybody from 6th grade to 12th grade that were failing math, they were doing their math credit all in the same class. It was just kind of a work at your own pace type of a situation. So I walked into the math class kind of figuring there'd be like me and maybe me, and I found like 20 other kids in there. And one of them was my friend, and I'm just gonna call him by his name. I don't even care. His name was Jarrett. I'm not making up any more names. It's too much work. So there's Jarrett. In walks Jarrett. And I was like, Jarrett, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm failing math. I said, apparently I was too. Why didn't you tell me? He goes, why didn't you tell me? I was like, touche. So I'm thinking, all right, summer's gonna be kind of lit now. Like, not gonna be that bad. I have my friend here. Let's do this. So 6-hour day. You do like 2 hours of work or something. You get a 15-minute break. Then there was like another 2 hours of work, 15-minute break. Then I think we had like, from there it was just straight on. I don't feel like we had 3 breaks. But either way, wasn't that bad. No lunch, official lunch or anything, but like you're just supposed to eat on your break or whatever. Or maybe there was a 30-minute break. I don't remember. But the point is, I realized there's this many teachers on campus. I bet you there's some office staff. So the first break happens, and I grab Jarrett, and I'm like, we're going to the office. And he's like, why are we going to the office? And I said, shut your mouth and follow me. We're going to the office. So we get up to the office. He actually followed me. And sure enough, there's the lady right there at the front counter. And I was like, I would like to sign up my friend and myself for the after-school trash program. She's like, oh, well, we're not doing lunch. Yeah, see, there wasn't lunch. She's like, we're not doing lunch during summer. And I said, no, au contraire. I want to sign us up for next year's. I want to be the first on the list, and he can be number 2. And she was like, okay, fair enough. Jarrett looks at me, and he's like make his eyes really wide, like, he was like, Johnny. Well, actually, I think back then I still went by Jay, but he was like, Jay. Actually, back then I went by JW. We're going way back. It's like, JW. And I was like, I'm pretty good, right? We're going to get all our free snacks next year. 10th grade is going to be lit. Now, I probably didn't say lit because I don't think that was a word back then. But, well, it was a word, but you know what I mean. I was like, 10th grade is going to be cool. And he was like, yeah. So we signed up. I'm so proud. I'm still proud to this day that I came up with this. First day of 10th grade rolls up. We go to the end of the day. We go to the lunchroom. Boom. The way it works, we got the inside details because we were officially on the list. Well, we had been on those, but we were the people. So there's usually only like 2 to 3 bags at most. The bags don't weigh very much. It doesn't always take 2 people, but they allow 2 people every day anyway. Some days one person will be carrying 1 bag, the other person will be carrying 2. Some days they'll each only be carrying 1 bag apiece. Very rarely is there 4 bags. But all you do is you pick up the bags, you walk them all the way to the front, you throw them in the dumpster, you walk back, you get your free drink and your free candy bar. It's all on honor system. There's nobody there. You just show up, you take it, throw it out, come back, take what you want, and leave. Cool. Easy peasy lemon breezy. We do this for months. No problem. Really cool was this was the year that they added in like the Texas brand like Cinnabons or whatever they were. I don't remember exactly what they were called, but these things were dope. They tasted good to begin with, but if you microwaved them for like 5 seconds, they were amazing. They like literally rivaled like Cinnabon brand from the mall. And they were like super cheap. They were selling them for 25 cents for some reason. So they actually said that if we chose that as our snack, we could get 2. So you're talking every day after school, I'm getting a free soda and 2 of these little cinnamon bun thingies. Yo, like 10th grade was awesome. 10th grade was awesome for so many reasons. I have so many stories from 10th grade I could tell you guys. SeaWorld, we had field trips to SeaWorld. The parking garage of pain. The boob penny. Yes, I said that right. Boob penny. So many stories from 10th grade. But back to this one. Reeling it in. So, dude, 10th grade was great. Now, here's the thing. The end of the year, we come to the last day of school. We had all been having to do a report in history. Now, history was the last period. This was like the last thing I had to do in school on the last day of school, really. And it was my history class. We had all been working on a project. We had to pick our favorite conflict or war. I know that sounds really weird, our favorite war. But we had to pick our favorite conflict or war in American history and do a report on it. Presentations, slideshows, things that you could hold, whatever. The whole big shebang, we had to do it. And this was worth like a large portion of our grade. And split into pairs of 2. I ended up paired up with Jarrett. Me and Jarrett were friends. Most people were doing it about World War II or the Civil War. Some were doing it about the Revolutionary War. We chose to do it about the Alamo, the Battle of the Alamo, because mostly we figured nobody would do that, so it would make us kind of be original and maybe would keep our teachers' attention. So we did it. We did it really good. I'm actually still proud of it. The way that worked was I did most of the talking because I was very talkative. My partner, Jarrett, he did the presentation. So I would talk about something, he'd hold up a picture, we'd pass it around. I'd talk about something else, he'd hold up that picture and then pass it around. We had some slides that he would play. I had visited the Alamo when I was a kid and I had some like souvenirs from there. We passed those out. This was a really good presentation. We got A+ in case you're curious. But I'm really proud about the speech. We started it off by saying, you know, whenever anybody thinks about Texas, what do you all think? And people were shouting out stuff like everything's bigger in Texas or the, you know, Dallas Cowboys, all these different things. And then I said, okay. Now I noticed that nobody mentioned the Alamo. And then I went into the whole big thing. Now anybody who's familiar with the Alamo knows the whole remember the Alamo like quote, like that's the famous quote about the Alamo. Remember the Alamo. So I did the whole speech and everything, and then at the end I said, well, now I hope that whenever anybody asks you what you think about Texas, that you will remember the Alamo. Okay, I told you guys, whew, that was clean. We got A+. We should have gotten A+++. Okay, here's the thing. Most schools, you would think on the last day of school, if they do any sort of party, would do like a pizza party. For whatever reason, my school did a salad bar every year on the last day of school. No idea why. Couldn't tell you. Don't know where that started. But every year on the last day of school, they would do a salad bar. This wasn't no ordinary salad bar, though. They would go all out. We're talking salad for 500 people. And like all the faculty, and a lot of the faculty would bring like their partners, like their spouses or whatever. Big salad bar. We're talking entire like tubs, like 5-gallon tubs of just like romaine lettuce, another one of spinach, another one of like green leaf, another one of iceberg, like all these different lettuces. Big old buckets of like shredded carrots, croutons, shredded cheese, huge tubs, like Costco-sized tubs of ranch dressing, blue cheese dressing, whatever, like all these dressings. Big display. Students could come through, load up their plate with all the salad they want, all the fixings, carrots, raisins, those little like stick things that you put on tops, you know, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds. Like this was an all-out thing. I don't really eat salad, so I would just get like some iceberg and put some like cheese on it and call it a day, but whatever. The trash. at the end of this day was massive. Jarrett and I walked up to like legit bags of trash. And these bags were overflowing. You see, it was all the leftover salad that hadn't been eaten because they dumped everything into tubs, so it was no longer packaged. So like all the now having sat in the hot Florida sun in the beginning of summer, wilted lettuces all in bags, the dressings that had like been poured out of the tubs into the containers, well, they didn't get poured back into the containers. They got poured into the trash. We're talking the leftover salads from people's plates that they dumped into the trash. We're talking bags of overfilled, big old bundles of trash. Nasty, gross trash. Guys, me and Jarrett looked at this pile of 15 bags of nasty, gross salad trash, and I was like, bro, I'm not doing it. It's not worth $2 worth of soda and snacks. Not happening. And he's like, I feel you. But if we want any chance of doing it next year, we're gonna have to do it this year. He was right. So I'm like, dude, we really gotta drag 15 bags of trash. I told you, this is about a 10-minute round trip. At this point, you know, it's the end of 10th grade. I have my driver's license. I'm now 16. Jarrett has his driver's license. It's not like our parents are going to be waiting for us. You know, it's not like anything like that we could get out of it. Like, oh, we can't do it. Our parents are here. Like, we're stuck. It's either do it or don't get back on the list for the 11th grade. And who knows what amazing goodies they're going to add into the lunch line options. What if we got to have 4 of these Texas buns next year instead of just 2? So we look at this trash and I'm like, bro, all right, let's just start. The longer we complain about it, the longer it's going to take to go. We might as well just do it. So we go to pick up the trash. Yeah, we ain't carrying 2 bags apiece. These bags are heavy, like heavy, heavy. We're going to be lucky if we carry like 1 bag at a time. So we're talking at most 2 bags per trip because one of us holding a bag each. And we're still talking over an hour worth of work. Then I come up with an idea. A shortcut, if you may. I said, yo, Jarrett, see those little cardboard boxes over there that are empty? What if we broke them down, laid them on the ground, and put a bag on it? And then we dragged the bag behind us. And he's like, this would be a good idea. We could make it into almost like a trash bag sleigh. And I was like, very, very true. And then we could have 1 in each hand, and then once again, bring 2 bags apiece. And he was like, this is a very smart idea, because if we're each bringing 2 bags, that's 4 bags total. And then we would only have to make roughly 4 trips. I mean, 3 trips of 4 bags apiece, well, 2 for me and 2 for him, but 4 bags per trip. And then there'd only be 3 bags left. One of us would take 1 and one of us would take 2. I was like, you know, that's a pretty good idea. Let's do it. So we start breaking down boxes, loading up bags, and dragging them. Now, Jarrett takes off with 2 bags, 1 in each hand being dragged behind him. But I decide I don't want to do this many trips. So I managed to fit 2 bags onto each piece of cardboard behind me, and I have 4 bags with me alone. So I'm like, I'll do 2 trips like this, that's 8. He'll do his trips of 2, that's 9, 10, 11, 12. And then on like the last trip or something, we'll only have to each do 1. We're doing good. We get the first trip done, we come back. Get the next trip done, come back. So at this point, this will be the end of it. He's got his 2 bags, I got 4. That will have been the whole thing. So I start dragging. Now, in order to get the bags to fit on my cardboard, I had to kind of like really layer it. Kind of had like 1 bag, half on the other bag, whatever though. I'm dragging them. This is heavy, okay? I'm falling behind. Jarrett ends up getting to the dumpster and throws his bags out. I'm still coming up the walkway. Now, this path was mostly sidewalk until you got to like the sidewalk kind of turned this way, but the dumpsters were up here. So then you go on the grass. Grass wasn't too bad. Then you hit like this gravel patch and you went through the gravel. Then you got back onto another sidewalk and then you followed that sidewalk the rest of the way till you got to the asphalt, went across the parking lot to the dumpsters, you're done. Dragging, I'm dragging. Apparently somewhere along the way, having 2 bags on one of the pieces of cardboard didn't quite work, and a portion of the bag was hanging over the edge of the cardboard. I didn't pick up on this right away. I didn't pick up on it at all, honestly. But apparently, it got picked by the ground, and it ripped the bottom of the bag. Not enough for all the stuff to come out and leave a trail, but enough that the bag's integrity was weakened. I make it my whole little 5-minute journey. Probably took me about 6.5 minutes because of how slow I was moving, because of how heavy these bags were. Like I said, Jared's already thrown his trash out, and he's waiting for me. Now, the way the dumpster works, you had to hold the door open. So he's standing there holding it open for me. So I fling up my first bag, get it in. Fling up my second bag, I get it in. I fling up this third bag, and I get it in. Time to fling the fourth and final bag and get it in. Boys and girls, I picked that bag up, and that little, like, frayed part that had hung over, the part that was now weak, I swing my bag up, I get it to about here, I'm about to let go. It's at full, like, velocity. The bag, like a shotgun. All this salad dressing, croutons, everything in this bag exploded out. And where does it go? All over Jared. Jared wore glasses. He had to do this just to see. He was dripping in salad. And I felt horrible. And I feel even more horrible right now looking back on how hard I laughed. Because I laughed heavily. Bro, this was hilarious, man. Jared was dripping in dressing, yo. He had dressing falling off of his earlobes. He had a piece of salad on his forehead. He had the crouton stuck to his shoulder. Dude, this kid was dripping. Dude. Then I said the best thing I ever said in my life. He was like, "You got salad on me," all like offended. And I don't know how it came out. I don't know. It doesn't even make sense, but it makes sense. It's salad, right? And we just did our thing about the Alamo, right? So I was like, remember the Salamo? And dude, it doesn't even make sense. But bro, he cracked a smile. He started quivering. He was trying not to laugh. He was like, And then he burst out laughing and he's like, remember the Salamo? You're an ass. Remember the Salamo? I'm covered in Salamo. Needless to say, we ended up spending a lot more time cleaning up this mess than we would have if we just went one bag at a time. We had to literally hose down the sidewalk, hose down Jared, hose down the side of the dumpster. They made us use like a shovel and like an outdoor broom to shovel up all of the stuff because they didn't want it just sitting in the sun. It took us like easily half an hour to clean this all up. Then we had to walk back and actually like put all the tools away back in the tool shed, which was out in the back 40, like in the maintenance shed or whatever. So like all the 30 minutes easily to clean this mess up. Another like 10 minutes of extra walking just to get to the tool shed. And then, dude, I don't even think that we got out of that school until around probably like 4:30. And mind you, like we started this around like 2:55. Would think that I learned then and there not to take shortcuts because they don't work out. But it was almost just the hilarity of seeing him covered in salad, I think just kind of overshadowed the extent of extra work. Also the fact that the entire time that we were cleaning, he kept finding little pieces of salad like in his clothing. He had taken his overshirt off and it had like drenched his undershirt too. But like he'd pull like a carrot stick out of like his waistband or like a crouton would come out of his shoe. I think that kind of helped me not learn my lesson. I'm not really sure. But yeah. Guys, if you've ever taken a shortcut and it didn't go quite according to plan, go ahead and tell me about it right here in the comments. I'm interested in hearing your stories. But otherwise, I hope you at least found this story interesting. More importantly, though, this was an educational story, okay? Not just to teach you not to take shortcuts. But the point of this video was more to just teach you about the history of the Salamo. And whenever you think of private school, I hope you remember the Salamo. As always, it's your boy Johnny, aka Crew 90. Not covered in salad. Sorry, Jared. And I'll catch you next time.